Hello my dears, and welcome to day 5 of my advent calendar. Today we're having a cozy evening in with Christmas movies and hot chocolate. Now we're adding something a little special to the hot chocolate, and it's a frozen mixture of whipped cream, a couple of tablespoons of icing sugar, and a few cookie cutters that you might recognize if you watch this channel regularly. And we're going to pop it in the freezer and pop it in our hot chocolates and get on with the evening. This is what I've done. I've taken about half a cup of whipping cream, whipped it up part of the way, added a good tablespoon of icing sugar. Now this is obviously going to add sweetness and thicken it up even more, because we're going to freeze it. So once, you don't want to take it too far, give it a really good whip till it's nice stiff peaks. And then you're going to lay it out on a baking tray. Now what I've done is I've got a baking tray that I've covered in tin foil and also parchment paper so that it's easily removed once it's frozen, and we can then use our cookie cutters to make the shapes for the hot chocolate. So once it's whipped to the right consistency, you want to spoon it out onto the tray, and you want it quite thin. You want it thick enough that you can push the cutters in and make the shape. And do you remember these cookie cutters from a thrift haul? Well, I dug them out and was looking for something Christmassy so that once the frozen mixture is ready, we can make some really cool shapes. Now it's better if they're big enough to fit in on top of the mug that you're using, so you don't want it too big that you can't fit it in to your drink. So here I have holly and some little circles. In the end, I ended up using the canapé cutters because they just work better. The shapes were better and I got more out of it. So cutters chosen. Now, I'm not sure how you make your hot chocolate, but I've found the best way is to take a little bit of the warm milk and add the mixture into it, stir it a little bit, and then I have one of those whisks from a hot chocolate set, and I whisk it to within an inch of its life so there's all the lumps are gone and it's really smooth. That makes a nice paste so that when the hot milk goes into it, you can pour a little bit in, whisk it up again, and then pour it back on itself, and it gives a really nice, rich, thicker, and it's got lots of bubbles, and I've found that there's no lumps in it whatsoever, so it just turns out so much better. Hot chocolate's ready. I grab my cream mixture from the fridge, and then I've just made the little shapes and pushed them off to one side so that you can pick them up easily with I used a spoon, but you can use a little spatula, and you just pile them on top of your hot chocolate. You can leave them to melt or stir them in, either way. They're so yummy. It just makes it a little special. So I've got my hot chocolate, I've got my Christmas jammies on, I've got my red and white spotted socks because my feet were cold, fire's on, Christmas tree's lit, and it's ready for white Christmas. Well, as you can imagine, I'm a bit of a traditionalist, so I do love the old Christmas movies. In fact, I've got quite a collection of movies over the years. Another of my favourites is The Bishop's Wife. In fact, Cary Grant, who plays Dudley in the movie, is the reason our little pup is named Dudley. Not that he's an angel, of course, but if you've seen the movie, it's a lovely old movie in black and white, and we always try and watch that at Christmas time. So I was looking through them. I started watching White Christmas. I used to always watch it on Christmas Eve when I was wrapping gifts, so I might save that one for later. But I've got such a lovely collection. Again, going back to the older ones, this Christmas Carol, it's never even been opened. I've seen this a couple of times on TV in past years, but I think it's always nice to have a copy at hand. Even just to lend out. I know my kids love to watch the movies on occasion, and if you can't get them on TV, which you can't always get them, or they're commercial free, we'll put it that way. So I'm just going to have a quick look through my favourites. So I've pulled out all the they're not all here. Like I said, my kids, you know, you lend them out to people or you watch them and they don't get put away properly, but I've got most of them. This is another real big favourite of mine, Holiday Inn. They're very old, the movies are, and this was actually the pre-runner to White Christmas. They had all the music, a lot of the music's, well, some of the music's used in White Christmas. So those are two of my absolute favourites. Along with Meet Me in St. Louis. This is a movie that you can watch year round, obviously, and it's got that very famous Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas with Judy Garland singing it. And this is a special edition, this one. I've had this a little while, and it goes into the background of the movie, how the movie was made, and in actual fact, Liza Minnelli does an introduction in it, so this is a really nice one to have. And I've cherished that for a little while. Another great movie for, I think, all ages, but especially if you've got grandchildren or young children, is The Snowman by Raymond Briggs. This one's a double feature. I picked this up a long time ago. I'm not even sure if you can get these, but you can look out for the Father Christmas edition on its own. And it's just a little bonus one of Father Christmas. Obviously it's British based because of it being Father Christmas, but you should look out for that. That's a nice little video as well. I also have some other ones that are a little bit unusual. This one's a 4 one with Christmas in Connecticut, and there's a movie called It Happened, the Shop Around the Corner, which was actually the original basis for the movie You've Got Mail. So if you watch that, you'll see the similarities between it, but that's a nice little collection of old movies. And then you've got, of course, the bog standard, as I call them, Christmas with the Cranks, Elf, you know, the ones that you see on TV every year. So those I don't tend to get out very often because they are always on TV. They're nice to watch, but they're on TV. And of course the Santa Claus 1 and 2, I wasn't keen on the third one, so I didn't pick it up. But again, you see these every year on TV or Netflix or, you know, things like that. So I don't tend to get those out very often. Christmas, the Muppets Christmas Carol, again, up there in my top 10. Just love this version, and my kids love it as well. It's one of the best. It's just great. Another absolute favourite is A Christmas Story, and again, with the kids, just love this one. They all have. It's something we found later. I know it was made in the 80s. We didn't probably find it until the mid-90s, but a lovely movie. This one's it's a very unknown. It's a British movie again, and that is Alan Cummins. You'll know him from American television. He's on everything these days. It's one of his first movie roles, and that is Rowan Atkinson, who's Mr. Bean, if you know, if you're familiar with him. It is a great little movie if you can find it. Obviously, I've picked it up. I bought it off on Amazon a couple of years ago, and it's called Bernard and the Genie, and it is well worth it. It's such a great little movie, just a little bit different. We've got Home Alone. I think that's got to be in everybody's top 10 favourites. That's a great movie. Been watching it for years, can never pass that one up. There's the standard Christmas Vacation, again, never miss a version of that. That's a cute little one. Arthur Christmas, love that one. All I Want for Christmas, that's another one. Enjoy both of those. The grandkids really enjoy them as well. That's a newer one, but I love that one. It isn't very often the new movies come out that I enjoy them. This one's another one. It's again right up there in my top 10. A Child's Christmas in Wales, and it's the story of Dylan Thomas, who's obviously a famous poet. His childhood and the turn of the century. It is just a delight to behold. So I recommend that one highly. This is a newer one. If you're a Downton Abbey fan, it's Dan Stevens stars as Charles Dickens. Beautiful story, a really nice movie. Again, highly recommend that one. That's a more recent one. And again, Love Actually. Love this one. It's very, very British, I know, but it's just such a nice movie. One of my favourite scenes is Hugh Grant as the Prime Minister doing the dance down the stairs. Just love that scene. But there you go. There's a few movies that are my favourite movies, mine and my family's, and hopefully you can get some pics there and enjoy them over the Christmas period. I have one more recommendation for you, and it's Rowan Atkinson. I'm sure you'll all have heard of Mr. Bean. This is Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean, and it is brilliant. Again, top 10.